G'day Bulldogs fans, all things Bulldogs. We've got one more game to come this year, the grand final, but we continue our build up to the 2023 season, profiling the new signings coming to the club. And I tell you what, this signing I consider to be our most important signing in a very, very long time. One could say it's the most important signing since Michael Ennis, and the player who needs no introduction, it's Reed Mahoney. He's only 24 years old, his best football's ahead of him, he's just played 100 games. So experience-wise, he's the same experience level as Jeremy Marshall-King, but the difference is this guy's known he's been a hooker his whole career, a professional hooker. Scouted by the Bulldogs. He was a product of the Beerwah Bulldogs, or the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. Scouted by Canterbury and brought down to the family club and played in our SG ball side in under 20s. Unfortunately, mid-season he was told that for his career he may want to look elsewhere because it'd be unlikely to be playing first grade at the Bulldogs. A stupid call. But obviously, you know, you live and die by your thoughts and opinions. And our club got it completely wrong. He offered to stay, him and his manager offered him to stay and to try and play first grade and make his way through the grades for $1,500. That was rejected by the club, that value. And he ended up being good for him because he got a $6,000 contract with the Parramatta Eels. And we all know what's happened since then. He's gone on to represent Queensland at the under-20s level, in a game where they flogged the Blues. He's been selected as the Queensland hooker, but actually got injured before the series started, so missed out on that. He would have been, either him or Ben Hunt would have been playing hooker in that match. I'd say he definitely would have been in the 17. So Reed Mahoney, an absolute gun player, $600,000 the reported salary a season over 4 years. So he'll be peaking at his best football by the end of that. But in saying that now, though, the speed of delivery of his pass, his ability to kick from dummy half and get 40-20s, his passing near the line, hitting players, ball runners, hitting them right on the chest as they run through the gap, you know, and he provides a lot of torque, and that's something that our teams lacked a little bit of. You'll hear a lot of fans saying it doesn't seem to be much torque going on out in the Bulldogs team, where we've always been a team that's had communicators and had halves that marshal the team. That's had a spine that's very vocal, whether it was Steve Mortimer, Terry Lamb, or Michael Ennis, or Brent Sherwin. You know, Braithen and Astor talked a lot. And that's been a perception of the Dogs, is that our current captain doesn't really, he's more of a doer than a talker. And you're either one that leads by example in the forwards, or you're someone who talks the talk and walks the walk. But Reed Mahoney, as I said, an absolute gun player. Jeremy Marshall-King, I think he'll do well at the Dolphins too. I think we've lost a lot of value in that. But and I think having them as a 1-2 punch would have been perfect. But Reed Mahoney is an 80-minute player, and Jeremy Marshall-King's turned into an 80-minute player, and this is the way the coaches have been playing these hookers, even though I think our team should have definitely been playing a 2-hooker strategy, because it just provides energy, and it seems to work for a lot of sides. But that's for the powers that be. Reed Mahoney, he will add a lot to our attack. His speed of delivery for those long passes off the ground just gives so much time to the halves. We need to have our halves have that extra time. They're not the fastest halves pairing. So that's just going to add time and space, and I look forward to the way that's going to help the likes of, Raymond Fatala-Mariner and Viliami Kikau on the edges, which is going to be a real added dimension for our side, something we've really lacked. And the way we sort of structured and been playing, Trent Barrett based a lot of the attack, and so did Mick Potter. It didn't really change too much off edge players running hard lines, sucking in defenders, and getting quick play the balls to then create overlaps that way. If they didn't have the speed or the smarts in the spine to actually, strip teams of numbers, which is what some other halves are really, really good at. So, as I keep saying, Reed Mahoney in attack is definitely going to benefit us. It's not a one-stop solution, but it's a part of the puzzle we desperately needed. His defence is also very, very good. He will attempt to make 55 tackles a game and average around 52, 53. He was number 2 in tackles for the season. So he's a workhorse. He does probably the most amount of work on the ground, being the dummy half as well. Doesn't run as much as Jeremy Marshall-King runs the ball, but that's not really a concern. He will run it when required. He does really remind me of as like a cross between Michael Ennis, but does play a little bit like Cameron Smith. Gets out of dummy half and can get that ball, can suck in defenders before passing, but at the same time he can just do it straight off the ground and just give the halves that chance to run forward and run straight and engage the line that way. So it's all going to come together over a couple of seasons with Reed Mahoney. We should not expect that the team's just going to suddenly be premiership contenders with him there. But you get a couple of other key signings in the right positions, or those young halves stepping up and getting some experience. It's only going to get better and better and better for the Bulldogs. But for people to come out and just expect that we have to get immediate success because we deserve it and we demand it and we're a big club and we're a great club. We all want a lot of stuff in life, but we don't always get it. But that's what I'm hoping to see as well. A Bulldog side that's competitive for the 8 next year. I think it's a realistic expectation. Injuries are going to play a big part in it. Our depth is improving, but I still feel we need to have some losing Paul Vaughan as a front rower is a loss, because his experience in getting away the quick play of the ball and his post-contact meters was really, really good and set us up for the next runs. But there's some young guys there who are learning their craft, and they're just going to have to take the slack. The likes of Chris Patolo, the new signings, Franklin Pele, and then you got Big Kikau and that. And Viliami, like any second rower, it's not usually they don't run the ball first from the kickoffs and stuff, you know what I mean? They generally create a lot of damage off the back of the other forwards, and that he's had James Fisher-Harris and the other props there, and Leota and Lenu doing that for him. But he's a real effort player, and that's what Reed Mahoney is, an effort player. And that's who we've hired, people that put in 100% effort every game. And that's what we want. So, yes, Reed Mahoney coming to the Bulldogs next year. He'll be turning 25. He's on a 4-year contract, and he is one of the top 2 or 3 hookers in the game every week. He runs around. He is a great player, and let's hope that he can enjoy a lot of success in the blue and white and be a Bulldog for life. But first things first. Anyway, guys, I'll continue to do more signings as they're confirmed and discuss about it, just to have content for people to discuss and debate or agree with or whatever. It's all interesting to look at, to talk about. Yeah, and I really appreciate all the subscribers this year and all the help that we've got. It's been fantastic. Thanks, guys, and good luck to the Dogs.